At 94, Clint Eastwood still stands as a giant in the film industry. But behind that piercing gaze and iconic voice is a life far more layered than the characters he portrayed. There's no denying his legendary status. Yet, what many don't realize is that Clint's real life has been just as intense, secretive, and astonishing as the movies he created. From surviving a plane crash to quietly building a world of secret affairs and lavish homes, Eastwood's journey is one of constant evolution and closely guarded truths. Even now, he's still behind the camera, still creating, still proving that time doesn't dull a legend. But the spotlight brings long shadows. Beneath the image of a cinematic titan is a lifetime of contradictions, from undisclosed children and fiery relationships to reviving lost properties and building exclusive enclaves. The places he's called home, the people he's loved, and the private struggles he's endured all paint a picture few have truly seen. This isn't just a salute to a film icon. It's a deeper dive into the life of a man who spent decades in plain sight while hiding so much more. Clint Eastwood didn't come from Hollywood privilege. He came from uncertainty. Nicknamed Samson at birth due to his 11-pound frame, his strength was evident early, but his youth was marked by instability. His father's job meant the family moved frequently during the Great Depression, shifting Clint from one town to the next. That lack of permanence taught him not to count on comfort, to keep moving. When the family eventually settled in Piedmont, California, things stabilized a bit. They had a pool, social memberships, signs of a stable middle-class life. But Clint never quite fit the ideal suburban image. By 1951, Clint Eastwood was just another Army recruit, working as a swimming instructor at Fort Ord. Nothing glamorous. Then came a fateful flight, a military transport that malfunctioned and plunged into cold waters off California's coast. Clint swam over 2 miles through frigid waves to survive. That near-fatal event didn't defeat him. It lit a fire. From that point on, Clint approached life with intensity, convinced every second mattered. It was a moment that echoed later in the quiet resolve of his most memorable characters. After his service, Clint bounced between odd jobs, working as a lumberjack, lifeguard, and piano player in Oakland bars, all while chasing a vague dream of acting. With no formal training and little appeal to casting directors, he scraped by until landing a small part on the TV series Rawhide. That role opened the door, but it was Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy that made him a global star. As the man with no name, Clint reshaped the Western, cold, quiet, lethal. Then came Dirty Harry, where he turned a cop into a pop culture icon. By the 1970s, Clint wasn't just acting, he was transforming what it meant to lead on screen. But as his professional star rose, his personal life became more tangled, and some of it played out for the world to see. Clint Eastwood's private life reads more like a story Hollywood might pass on. He married Maggie Johnson in 1953, but exclusivity was never part of their marriage. During their time together, Clint fathered children with several women, some kept hidden for years. One daughter, Lori Murray, was adopted out and didn't learn Clint was her father until the 1990s, through her own digging. Another, Kimber, was the result of a 14-year relationship with stunt woman Roxanne Tunis. Maggie, despite knowing some of this, stayed and raised 2 children with Clint. But once stories surfaced about actress Sandra Locke, the marriage fell apart. His relationship with Locke was intense, stormy, and eventually devastating. While living with her, Clint secretly had 2 children, Scott and Catherine, with flight attendant Jacelyn Reeves. Locke later accused Clint of emotional abuse, coercion into abortions, and sterilization. Their split turned into a courtroom battle. Despite cycling through relationships, including ones with Frances Fisher and later Dina Ruiz, Clint continued to expand his family. 8 children with 6 women. Some connections well known, others kept quiet. Still, Clint has managed to stay close to many of his children, especially those who came into his life later on. His life wasn't free of scandal, but it was full of complexity. The same man who held on to secrets also worked hard to be present for his kids. Love for Clint was never tidy, but it was sincere, messy, and deeply personal. While Clint Eastwood built his name in film, he quietly crafted a second legacy in real estate, and each of his homes reflects a different part of him. From his serene Carmel-by-the-Sea estate to a sleek hideaway in Sun Valley, Idaho, his properties aren't just luxurious. They're reflections of who he is. The Carmel home, completed in 2010, spans nearly 16,000 square feet and marries Spanish design with the peacefulness of the California coast. More than a residence, it's the retreat of a man who always sought refuge from Hollywood noise. In Bel Air, his classic villa offers a private haven filled with detail and character. These weren't just purchases, they were intentional, meaningful choices. But nothing speaks louder than Mission Ranch. When the historic property faced destruction in the 1980s, Clint stepped in, not to profit, but to save it. He invested heavily in restoring every aspect, from its chimneys to its handcrafted interiors. Then there's his most ambitious vision, Tehàma Golf Club, 2,000 acres of rugged beauty merged with refined exclusivity. Designed for a maximum of 300 members, it mirrors Clint's belief in beauty shared only with those who respect it. Every project shows that Clint left more than buildings behind. He left parts of himself in the stone, the wood, and the land. These spaces aren't just places, they're philosophies. But even while building quiet sanctuaries, the Clint Eastwood myth kept evolving and still hasn't faded. His legacy goes far beyond the screen or the spotlight. His children, some in film, others in music or the arts, describe him as a steady, silent presence, leading by action more than words. Properties like Mission Ranch and Tehàma aren't just business ventures. They reveal a man who values legacy, beauty, and impact. Clint Eastwood's story isn't over. It's a continuing narrative of growth, contradiction, and creative force. He's not just a legend from yesterday. He's proof that transformation doesn't stop with age. For Clint, growing old isn't the end, it's just another act.